All right, let's go. Ayo, we're three hot guys sharing our opinions because we're special and different. Gold medals, we're winning. Can't help it if we're burdened by our intellect. You can play checkers while we pretend we know the rules to chess. The council has spoken, and we are the chosen. Your nose is broken because I broke it.
Sucks.
And welcome back to another episode of Will of the Council. We've got Jordan in the booth.
Breaking news. Jordan is ordering more Panda Express.
We've got Danny, who is in what we are now calling the DoorDash files.
Oh, hold on. I'm looking through. Hold on. Oh, I found it. My pay for 4 receipt.
And of course, we've got Becky on the ones and twos. How's everybody doing today?
A lot better than the president, I'll tell you that much.
True. I'm feeling great. My hands feel good. You know, they're not decrepit and there's no blood clots anywhere in my
inside
legs.
like a little child or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, dude.
Whoa.
Oh my
All right,
God.
so we gotta do the Epstein files. We tried to avoid it because personally, I don't know why we're still talking about this guy. I don't understand. But no, we should talk at least a little bit about the fact that every powerful person in this nation is
a pedophile
on a video camera molesting a child.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It is. I don't know. I think like Hassan Piker talks about this a lot, which is, you know, there are conspiracies that are sometimes just true, and like this is just a true thing. Like all of us, it's crazy that all of us are aware that rich people and powerful people are just fucking creeps, and we all know it, but for so long they've just gotten away with it, and now the dam is finally breaking, and it's even the president of the United States is doing his best to be like, no, if you are still thinking about this, you're very stupid, and everyone's like, no, fuck you, you're a pedophile. So it's great, man. It's just great to finally, maybe, hopefully see comeuppance. My biggest hope for this.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'll just say it. The only thing that is in my mind is always that, you know, wonderful post that will forever ring in my brain. I know you're both already know exactly what I'm about to say. Let's see Donnie wriggle his way out of this jam. Oops.
Yep.
He wriggled his way out of this jam. Rats.
Yep.
Oh, well. We'll get him next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
God.
I don't know. This the whole thing is like totally made fraudulent by the fact that they did get him on the stupid like Russiagate scandal. No, it was the Ukraine thing with like Lev Parnas, like the most nothing thing ever. They were like, we got him. And they did for once. It was crazy.
Yep.
It's given me this understanding that I think is echoed by every lib in the country, which is that if they ever get Donald Trump, it'll be because like he left his shoe untied on a Thursday and that breaks the rules, and Cosmo and Wanda will show up with, you know, Jorgen von Stroheim and beat his ass, and they'll never get him on being an active pedophile. They're never going to get him on like he molests children. Like the big stuff, it's like, no, that's nothing, you know. I guess we should probably, you know, give you an overview if you don't know already. For those of you who don't know, for a significant amount of time, a guy named Jeffrey Epstein and his weird handler, Ghislaine Maxwell, basically trafficked children through a secret island that he had purchased called Little St. James. And almost every single like powerful or important person was either friends with this guy, friends of a friend with this guy, or their name is like mentioned in his flight logs. And a lot of people have latched on to the fact that this might mean that every powerful person is a pedophile. And they're right.
Yeah, to that I say, yeah, I know.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, big shocker.
There's some people who are like, no, you don't understand. What would happen is they would lure powerful people to the island, and then they would film them discreetly having sex with a minor, and then they would hold it over them to blackmail them forever and get them to do what they want. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much the same thing to me.
Yeah, that is the same thing. That's
distinction without a difference. But one of the funniest parts of it is that in terms of the people on it, we've known forever that Trump is on this list. Like parts of his address book have been released to the public. Donald Trump's all over it. Some of the flight logs have been released. Donald Trump's all over it. And so every time I see something that's like breaking, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, I do the Now, I am a little confused here because Ed, Edd n Eddy has been off the TV for a couple of years at this point.
I'm pretty sure we're all aware of this shit. Like, we're all living in the reality that this is well known, but unfortunately, there are many people that either deny that reality or refuse to, or just like warp that reality to their worldview. It's hilarious, and there has now been, as of today, people are posting about it, and news sources are posting about it. From Newswire, in all caps, Justice Department told Trump his name is in Epstein files from WSJ. So
yeah, like obviously.
Yeah, like we've all seen pictures of it. Like these two are basically chumming it up next to each other with like a 14-year-old in between them all the time.
The problem is that Trump has sort of just fallen ass first into a group of fans who are like totally detached from reality and believe every conspiracy theory in the world, but by virtue of doing so believe some that are just straight up true. And one is the Epstein files. So something his base demanded from him this last election cycle was that he release the Epstein files. And he was always like, we'll think about it. Yeah, we'll probably do it. Yeah, we could do it. And so they were like, that's it. He's going to expose the pedophiles. We're in. And then like 6 months ago, he was like, we're releasing part 1 of the Epstein files. It was a bunch of stuff that had already been released. And then everyone was like, but part 2 is going to be the big one. And as it became time to release part 2, you had like the FBI director saying stuff like, the files exist. They're on my desk. I just got to go through them and we'll release them. We had Pam Bondi saying like, it's time for the people to know the truth. Then out of nowhere, about a week and a half ago, they started being like, oopsie, there's actually no files at all. Yeah, why would a guy like that even keep a Rolodex with all of the people that he had blackmail material on? I don't understand what you're all talking about. Let's just move on to the next thing. We've delivered so much for this great country. Why is anyone even asking about the fact that I'm pictured 45 times with a serial molester? They released like the footage of his prison cell the night that he committed suicide, and they were like, see, nothing happened. And then people were like, yeah, so technology is good enough that we can now tell if this has been edited. And there's like 5 minutes just missing from the time he committed suicide. Yeah. It's like,
wow.
What did you think was going to happen? I don't understand. So people are asking for the unredacted footage. They're asking for the lists, and they're still maintaining that there are no lists.
Yeah. Even though that was Trump's like biggest campaign press was that he's going to be, well, I shouldn't say his biggest. It was one of his biggest things was the whole Epstein file shit. And it is just very, I don't know, reap what you sow kind of deal. Like you ran on this and you hope that your base would forget it. They clearly didn't because they're the most conspiratorial weirdos of all time. And you played into it and I don't know, obviously this was going to happen. My favorite thing is all the dorks that are like Charlie Kirk are running around being like, you know what? I'm now going to trust my friends in the government. They said the Epstein shit isn't real. I think it's not real. And everybody very quickly from, all his viewer base is like, oh, so you are bought and sold as well, which clearly they are. But I guess now, and if they're waking up at now, then it's better than never, right?
Sure.
So that's hilarious. It's also funny that, they had like Chaya Raichik and a bunch of other ghouls parading around the Epstein file books of the lists and everything like, oh, we have it. It's going to change everything. We're going to release it. And now they're all just like, nope, never mind. We promise there's nothing there. And this is all happening because Trump knows that he's in it. Trump knows that he's spent his life fucking like 15-year-olds or whatever. So
I like on the other side is like another like freak ass Nazi, Nick Fuentes being like, the liberals were right. And I'm like, dude.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. It's awesome.
Friend of the pod, Nick Fuentes. I love every time
that
every time he's in the news, he's like, I can't believe it. I've been duped again. I don't know how many times this is going to happen. Like, he's like, I just don't get it. I thought he was our guy for the 5th time, but it turns out he's a Diddy blood?
Wait.
It's like, yeah, dude, I don't know.
He lives in Ohio? He's an odd Diddy blood? This is an LFAPS, guys.
You're telling me now for the very first time. I did like one of the ones I really liked was I've seen a lot of pictures that are like, the reason the libs don't want the Epstein list coming out is it'll implicate Clinton. And I'm like, 2 things. 1, fucking, as far as I'm concerned, you can throw Bill Clinton in a alligator swamp. I have nothing good to say about the man. But second, it's funny to be like, wait, if this list gets out, people will learn that Bill Clinton was a pervert, that Bill Clinton was like a gross sex pest. It's like, Jesus.
Oh, whoa.
Such a thing could not be true.
Yeah.
I'm learning this right now. Are you telling me this right now?
For the first time.
You'll never believe this, but Bill Clinton used his power to make sexual advances at young women. What? It's impossible. I just don't believe it. He could play the saxophone like nobody's business.
I like right underneath the Newswire post, which was posted today around 3 p.m. They replied with a Polymarket link, and it says odds Trump releases Epstein files before September are just 22%. Isn't that awesome? They're like,
yeah, we're gambling.
Check out the
They're
betting
selling
market.
dollars for 78 cents. That's crazy.
I know. Funny you bring this up because another interesting development that's happening is for, some reason, the House of Representatives just voted to take a 41-day recess.
What?
So, yeah.
I want a 41-day recess.
Yeah, boy, that would be awesome. Don't you just love it how all of us in the working class are just busting our asses all the time, 40 hours a week, if you're lucky, if you only have one job that doesn't make you do mandatory overtime. But then there's other people that are working with their hands 6 to, God forbid, 7 days a week. But, your elected representatives, you can pay your taxes for them to hide pedophiles and get a 6-week break, Cool.
That's
awesome.
Cool. I think that's
super cool.
I think I need to hustle more, actually. I think they should take all of my days.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Danny.
No, my days off are pretty much given to my representative. They can use it, not me.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we don't have guaranteed sick time, is because our representatives are taking it from us. They're like a PTO vampire. They just oh shit, man. These people suck. And our government is awful.
I just want to say that I agree with everything that our government has been doing.
Yup.
And if any government officials are listening to this, I will tell you Peeps' home address if you get me a pardon.
Yeah.
Do either of you remember when Elon was like, truth bomb, I put a pedophile in office?
Yeah, my favorite.
That was awesome. When he was like, yes, the reason the Epstein files haven't been released is because Trump's on them. And everyone was like, then why are you
with
why?
Then
bro,
what? Really? You had your kid around him, dog.
It's like
all the time.
And then, because I always like to take everything bad and yell at the Democrats more, did you see the stuff that was happening where after the Elon Trump divorce, there was a bunch of prominent Democrat journalists that were like, oh, we need to get Elon on our side now. It's like, no,
I'm good, actually.
Awesome.
I'm good.
All right.
You people are fucking stupid. Oh man, everybody that is in charge is just, okay, I'll close my mouth. Can't say anything further. Can't finish any of those sentences that I just was about to say. My FBI agent and I need to get on a first name basis at this point.
Has anyone thought about how maybe he just was a forgetful guy?
Oh, who,
maybe he just forgot that he did all the crimes.
Yeah, right.
It wouldn't surprise me. He's
what if he
90?
just forgore and he was like, "What? That wasn't me."
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about this picture.
Oh shit! Right? Yeah. No, I did.
Fuck.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot about all the rapes. Oh fuck. Yeah.
Dude,
come on, man. We gotta monetize this episode somehow.
We're 10 minutes in.
It's not YouTube.
Oh my god.
I mean, it is YouTube. But there are other platforms this gets uploaded to.
Oh my god.
Oh, Christ alive,
past the 2-minute mark.
man.
Oh man. All right. Here we go.
Don't worry, everybody. Soon we're gonna release the Joseph N-word edit. I'm not.
And he said the N-word, nuclear. He said the N-word, nuclear. I hate to say it.
The classic. Okay, I will say to put a bow on this, it is fun seeing him try to wriggle his way out of this.
Isn't it great, actually?
First ever ratioed post on Truth Social. Yeah.
No, he is kind of freaking out. Now, obviously, it probably won't matter as much, but it is fun to watch him be like, wait, why are we talking about this guy?
This is the one thing, and I don't want to gather myself too much hope, because there's a post we just mentioned about it. We all know how this goes. How's old Donnie going to wriggle his way out of this jam? So on and so forth.
Right.
But it does feel different. Am I crazy?
No,
this one
I think you're right.
Yeah.
This one does feel
I think we
different.
are seeing the vibe shift. The problem with all of the Republican influencers who are suffering from this mass psychosis is that it is a response to an actual slight. It didn't just come out of nowhere. It's not that there's something in the water. It's that we are being lied to consistently and constantly by all of our leaders every single day in a trillion different ways.
Yeah.
And for a lot of these people, they interpreted like the epic libs saying stuff like, what are you talking about? Everything's fine, as an admission that everything was not fine and it was like the fault of immigrants or something.
Yeah.
But their freak out does come from a genuine place of understanding, which is, we're being tricked constantly.
Yep.
And so for a lot of them, I think this present crisis has been a reminder that the reason they believe all this stupid, insane stuff is because there's a bunch of stupid, insane stuff that we have been lied to about every day. And this is just one more in a long series of, no, you gotta trust me, everything's normal. They just ended up on the wrong end of it. And so I know it is probably delusional, but I'm at least a little bit optimistic about the fact that some people are going to recognize, oh, wait, this guy is just as criminal as everybody else. He's just as much of a thug as everybody else, and has to be dealt with the same way as everybody else, which is you got to get him out of power, and then you got to never talk about him again. And if he did all the stuff that's in the files, he goes to jail too, But
Yep.
I think likely what's going to happen is we are just going to be reminded in some way or another that we don't get to make those decisions, that the levers of power are held by other people, and no matter how frustrated people get, the best we can manage is sort of this mass psychosis movement, not anything that will actually impact the way the country is run. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
It certainly is. It is a vibe shift. It does feel vibe shifty. All right. Well, y'all ready for the epic posts?
Reddit.
Yep.
Stop talking about
Reddit.
politics, dude, and let's talk about games. I don't want politics in my podcast anymore, bro.
Yeah, honestly, just get to the posts, man.
I do love we get about half the people who are like, get to the post, and half the people like, every second I'm not listening to the preamble, I want to drive a nail into my skull.
Yeah, that's why we do both. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Something for everyone.
All right, today's got a theme. I like when we get to do themed episodes, and the theme is gaming.
Gaming?
Gaming.
Oh, dude, you're talking to two gamers. We'll teach you, Joseph.
This first one comes from r/AITA relationships,
Yay!
which is like the gross inbred pug of every single one of these subreddits that we try to avoid.
How's there a third one?
Hey, look.
Okay.
All of these beautiful electrons to the nucleus of Am I the Asshole are wonderful to me.
That's
I
true.
treat them all with love and respect because they are content. Go ahead, Joseph.
Okay, this one is called AITA for gaming with a married woman.
No.
Dare you?
You are
I'm gonna
providing
say
a
yes,
service.
honestly. you know those guys that are like, how dare you speak to my woman? And it's like a waiter asking her order. That's like this guy, but about gaming.
Yeah.
Are you duo queuing with my fucking kitten?
Oh, you're supporting her?
That's
You're
it. Daddy's
supporting
gonna
her?
go crazy.
He's healing her, therefore he wants to fuck her, which is probably true. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. The waiter is insane, but this might be true. Okay.
Okay, listen, men only want one thing. Why else would he really be playing
Yes,
support?
and
Let's
it's a gamer.
Yeah. Hello, Redditors. I've been trying to figure something out. Within the last 6 months, I've 34M found this amazing gaming partner, 34F, when I stumbled onto her starting her stream on Twitch. I was one of her day one followers. I introduced her to my group of friends that we played the same game together with at the time, which was sort of extraction shooter.
Okay,
Friend
cool.
slop. Friend slop.
Friend slot.
Well, no, that an extraction shooter is not friend slot. Never mind.
Don't do it. Just
It's
let
like
him
Tom Clancy. Just
let
go
him
ahead.
have it. Let him have it.
Yeah.
I have really messed up hours, so it's hard for me to find someone consistent to play with. Along came F. We started playing games, started chatting, then I found out she was married, even though we'd been gaming together for 12 plus hours. We've been gaming, we've been chatting, and it feels like I've fallen for this woman and I just can't get enough of her. She has a really messed up sleep schedule too, so that works to my advantage because my job hours are inconsistent. So guiltily enough, when I know she should be trying to get to sleep, I'm just waking up and I'll ask for another raid or another match, which will lead to 4 plus hours. Her husband used to be a semi-big streamer for another game, and he'll come into her chat while we're gaming, and it just feels like I can't stand him. Because at the end of the day, I know she's a married woman, but the monkey brain inside of me wants to try and keep gaming with her. That, and when he comes into the chat, he's just kind of an ass. I'm trying to convince her, even though she has a low view count right now, sub 10, that with our combined efforts, she could turn this into a full-time job. But at the same time, I don't want her to grow too big because it feels like I'll lose my gaming buddy. Am I the asshole for trying to take up as much of her time as I can so she can't spend it with her hubby?
Dude, gamers are so awesome.
This is the worst thing I've ever. What the fuck? It's literally like, God, I just hate when her husband comes around. I just hate her husband. I'm falling in love with her. She's married, and I'm like her number one viewer on Twitch. I was the first.
I was day one.
Reddit, what's parasocial mean?
This guy's like, listen, your husband gave you a ring. You took his last name. But me, I've got that motherfucking founder's badge. All right.
Yeah.
So
not only do I have the founder's badge, but we could make it big together. But not too big. I need you.
That's the best part of this post.
Yeah, I know.
Is we could make it a full-time job, but not that much attention because I don't want you running off with another man like I am trying to get you to do right now.
Can I just say, being like a woman online, not to be a woman feminist, it's crazy, dude. It's hell on
man.
earth.
It's
Imagine
hell.
Streaming for fun to like 8 to 10 people who enjoy your presence, and you're having a blast. You're making some new friends online, and your day one viewer Andy's like, "No, this is the love of my life."
Yep. Oh, you're trying to create content and be like a streamer and so people can watch you
Even
play
just as a
games or
hobby.
whatever. Actually, you're a romantic quest for me.
Quest.
You are. And because you're a woman online, that is just what you are subjecting yourself to constantly. And there's nothing you can do about it. So please divorce your husband for me. I'm a day one viewer.
Yeah,
Whoa,
but have
man.
you guys thought about that she is gaming with this guy 16 hours a day?
Oh, that's true. Actually, is it her fault?
That is, okay, well, I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
So I get
as a
none of the
man,
blame.
we need to talk about a woman's place in the household again.
Shut up!
A woman's place is in her Ewin gaming chair.
True.
Okay, no, let's talk about the specifics of this insane post.
Yeah.
So, I do like that he starts by being like, I just want a gaming buddy. And then the last line is, am I the asshole for trying to take up as much of her time as I can so she can't spend it with her husband?
Do you
Yeah.
hear yourself, man? Like, say those words out loud and not on
So
Reddit.
I guess I'm the asshole for trying to ruin her life. Fuck me. Holy hell.
I just want a gaming buddy, but I hate her husband. Also, I love her. Like,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I'm falling for
okay.
her. Like, what are you, 14?
34, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing that fucks me up is that this guy is 34. It's not like he's like, a teenager with a crush. I get you could do stupid shit when you're a teenager being like, stay on Fortnite a little longer. Forget your stupid boyfriend. He's a freaking jock.
He's a mean
He's like,
guy.
no, I have like a mortgage and child support. I would like you to continue to play Lethal Company with me at the active detriment to your marriage.
What I find strange is that he introduced her to his group of friends and like they played the same game together. Is it that I'm maybe confused just like online? Because it kind of sounds like I don't know. It sounded
It's
like
friend swap.
physical a bit,
It's-
but I guess it's mostly just online.
Yeah, it's online. I'm assuming they're playing something like Tom Clancy, some
Right.
what the fuck are those games? It's like
I don't know. Isn't it
that's what I think they mean by
like
extraction
Tarkov,
shooter.
right, or something?
Yeah, there we go.
Escape from
Escape from Tarkov.
Tarkov.
Some shit like that.
That's
right,
like a
right.
classic.
Which are pretty. I don't want to say they're super niche, but they are somewhat difficult to find consistent people for.
Sure.
Because not everybody plays those games. I don't fucking play those games. I bet they're cool. I play shooters, but I can imagine that it's like finding somebody that is always available to play this game is like finding a unicorn. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. And this guy's like
And
schedules
how do you think
odd.
I fucking feel about the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game?
Yeah.
No one wants to play this piece of shit.
True.
And then you find a single woman at the Yu-Gi-Oh convention, and then, God, we'll probably talk about that in this whatever. But anyway.
Here's what I would say. I think I understand this person's general vibe. And I do want to be clear. I think that it's okay to be like, I found someone through Twitch because they were streaming a niche game that I also play and can't find a consistent play group for. We hit it off. We became really good friends. We play consistently. I think that any reasonable person is like, all right, if we're going to be playing this much, we do need to set some boundaries. You can't be neglecting your real life in order to do this. And this you can go pro at 5 viewers thing is obviously a lie. That's not what's happening in this post. Like, that scenario is super defensible, I think does happen. But what's happening here is a guy found a woman he can manipulate. He's like, I was on Twitch. I saw someone with a low view count. I hopped on to manipulate her, and then I've been manipulating her for a week.
Yeah.
And like,
6
I don't know
months?
what to say outside of, 6 months? No way.
Within the last 6 months, I've found this amazing gaming partner.
Oh my God.
So either it's like less than 6 or in those 6 months.
No, okay. In that case, he needs to be sent to the electric chair. No, I think that this is something that you shouldn't be falling for. Like, I assume this woman is also around the same age. And if so, I'm pretty sure she knows what's going on.
Yes.
And at least her husband does. I love that he's such an ass when he comes in a chat. It's like, yeah, dude, because you're preventing her from going to bed.
Yeah, he comes into the chat.
I would imagine
and he's like, hey, it's been hour 13. Usually you're not on this long. Or just like, I doubt he says that. It's just like he's probably there just to say hello and check in on her because she's streaming. I get it because, like, if you know someone who might be a content creator or might be trying to stream, like, you don't want to interrupt or you don't want to like stop their session or whatever. They're just trying to do their hobby. But like, sometimes you're like, oh, let me check in. And then you pop in and you speak in chat or whatever. And so like, I'm very curious, what could he have said that could be perturbed as like, oh, this guy's such a jerk in her 10 viewer stream? Like, what, like, is he an asshole to the other?
What if he's like a stream monster? Like, he shows up in chat, instead of being like, keep it up, honey, he'll be like, wow, you fucking suck at this game.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like an
big
annoying
surprise,
chat
another
guy.
female that can't play a shooter. Yeah. It's like, babe, what the fuck? That's my husband.
Did you change your keybinds yet? Did you change your Did you change your different grenades to the number keys? Oh my God, you're so shit at this game.
Your audio sucks. I can't even hear the game. Like this your stream blow.
Are you playing on 720? Are you in windowed mode? Are you fucking kidding me?
Is this
seriously,
60
resolve
hertz
that right now.
Screen monitor? God.
I can see the flicker through Twitch. Like, this is upsetting.
I guess, okay, if we want to have a grander conversation, let me pivot it this way. Joseph, I liked what you said earlier about how you understand this guy. Maybe there is something to, like, this lonely dude who wants to watch a streamer and he likes this person. I feel like this happens more often than not. And so maybe it's worth talking about, like, I feel like you said, that's okay.
I think I would say probably trolling around the section of a game that you play, looking for people to play with, and even someone to date, even though that person might already be dating someone in this very call and fucking up my life. Sorry. No, what were we? What were we talking about?
Go ahead.
Cut all that shit, Rebecca.
No, I think it's completely fine. I think it's totally okay, especially if you are in like a niche game, to try and find people playing the game to play with using Twitch. But I mean, I don't know how much it matters to have the conversation of like, is that behavior normal, when what this guy is doing is a completely different set of behavior for a totally nefarious purpose.
Yeah. It's rough because like I want to have the conversation of like, there are people who like totally try and find like a community to chill with, make friends and have fun. I mean, the top streamers, like, I don't know if you guys have heard Iron Mouse's debacle. I'm not going to get into it here. Just that one thing that she repeats constantly, she's a VTuber, is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, is that she started streaming because she's, immunocompromised and she wanted to make friends. And that's many people who might start on Twitch who are like, I don't know. I just wanted to find some friends in, like, I don't know. I play this niche Nintendo retro game, right? And like I found some people who also play it, or some competitive game, or Escape from Tarkov. And so you find these cool people and they're like nice and they want to play games with you. And I think that's a cool conversation about like, where does that line bleed? How far can it go? And when this guy explains himself being a manipulator, you're like, come on, man.
He's like, no. I'm trying to steal this woman from her husband.
Yeah. Am I the asshole? No, you guys aren't getting it. No, I'm mad when her husband comes in chat because I want
because
her.
I'm trying to steal her
Yeah.
from him.
Yes.
Right?
You
Get it?
understand it? Like, it's not hard to get. I don't know how you're thinking I'm a bad person here. Like, this woman I met online that's playing a video game that I instantly fell in love with, even though that's not why she's doing this, you know? That's not my problem. It happened. The world should cater to me. Like, this
I also
actually,
love
I
that,
can't
like,
be-
he's
I-
totally...
This is how I go about my life.
He's
so, you know.
totally projecting the, like, and you could do this full time. I mean, as someone who does it full time, I can tell you, not everyone's motivation on twitch.tv is to blow the fuck up and become Asmongold 2. A lot of people are like, I want to be able to play a video game while my friends watch during their lunch break. It's really not that big of a fucking deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I do love posting on this in AITA relationships. Like, my brother in
That's
Christ.
a good.
That's not a relationship.
You know, actually, it's very funny.
this should be an Am I the Asshole creepy grooming.
Yeah.
AITA grooming.
Yeah.
Wait, we got to start that sub up. AITA group. That's the
we
sub for the
don't.
pod. That's the sub for the pod. Is AITA grooming.
Hello, Reddit. It's me.
Oh, man.
I80M.
All right. Do we want to vote on this?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Decision time.
Can we use our weapon here,
Yes.
please?
Please, Christ.
Button
All
attack.
right. When it comes to this man, is he the asshole? And if he is, would you all like to use an item that is occasionally given to
I've
us?
turned both keys and I've lifted up the solid bulletproof glass case around it.
This is an XK class male extinction scenario.
Alert,
Are you
alert.
sure you want to proceed?
Alert.
3, 2, 1.
Kill.
Kill.
We're like
That-
at the
that-
nuclear launch site, but we all three of us need to turn the keys at the same
Yeah,
time.
literally, that's it.
Yeah. Oh my God. We'll get a Kurzgesagt article on it. Be like, there was almost a male extinction event. Jordan and Danny had all turned their keys, but Joseph decided against it at the last minute. He had gamer sympathies.
Yeah.
Saving all gamers ever since.
This video is sponsored by Ground News.
This video is sponsored by Blue Chew.
Yeah, dude.
The council has spoken.
All right, second gamer question. This comes from r/am I the asshole. Classic sub, 8 days old. A little stale. Just gonna have to deal with it. AITA for telling my husband to stop being in my chat while I'm flirting with my new friend. No. AITA for telling my husband not to hire a video editor, even though it's affecting our relationship.
Okay. You've intrigued me, Redditor.
This is one that's gonna really stick in your craw.
Ooh.
Here we go. My husband recently landed a well-paying job as a welder, working 12-hour shifts most days. Okay, you don't have to rub it in.
Yeah.
All right.
These people do make a
I'm
lot of
just
money,
kidding.
by the way.
Do they?
I couldn't fucking
Oh yeah,
weld.
as somebody. So depends on where, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of manufacturing plants, depending on what your what is being manufactured. Sometimes a welder, like a true trained hand welder, especially, you can make like a fuckload of money. You can make like $40 an hour.
Wow.
It's yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
It's nuts. It's a very needed skill.
That is nice. Holy
Yep,
shit.
I know, it's good.
But what if I have no skills and game instead? All right, here we go. Before this job, his main hobby was content creation. He loved filming, editing, and uploading videos online. Oh, well, never let him say that a streamer can't be a productive member of society.
True.
This guy is actually both streaming, which is harder than your 9 to 5, and doing a 9 to 5. In fact, it's not even a 9 to 5, it's a 9 to 9.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
That's what I
I
used to do.
It was never a source of income, just something he enjoyed doing. Now that he's working full-time, he barely has time or energy to edit his videos, many such cases. He came to me asking if he could hire a video editor so he could still enjoy this hobby without spending hours editing. This guy is filming the TikToks of like shirtless men on an oil rig being like, females could never do this. I told him I didn't think it was a good idea because we have other expenses to prioritize. Health insurance, car insurance, bills, groceries, etc. He already knows how to edit, and I felt that hiring someone else would be unnecessary when we're trying to save. He reluctantly agreed and dropped the idea, but ever since he's been distant. If he's not at work, he's either recording and editing his videos or sleeping. We barely spend time together anymore. I brought it up, and he said that editing takes up the only free time he has, but it's the only way he can still feel like himself and enjoy his life outside of work. I can't help but feel he's being petty by choosing editing over spending time with me, especially since I compromised by not stopping him from doing content creation. I just asked him not to spend on an editor. Am I the asshole for telling him not to hire one, or is he being immature about this? And there's a little edit here that I'll read. It says, edit, we both contribute financially to the household. Our situation has been improving after a period of difficulty. I am somewhat concerned about the possibility of him hiring a video editor, as I am uncertain about the intended payment amount. I looked up standard rates online and believe that cost may not be necessary given our current expenses.
Sorry, but editing videos takes fucking forever. Like, I don't do it. I can't. First of all, I don't have the knowledge for it. And I don't have the time. Like, true, it really is the time.
This is a situation where, like, I think I actually have insight.
Yeah, I do
Go
too.
for it.
I do edit, and so does Joseph.
I think we all probably do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not to be like I was in a situation similar to this. I've never welded in my life. I was working as an electrician and a plumber, pulling 15-hour tradesman shifts.
True. True.
So when COVID happened, just to do something, I flipped to the channel full time, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of took off, and I was, that was my main source of income, and has been ever since. And when I started, I was the only one doing stuff. That meant like I would write and record and edit everything. And, that was a fucking assload of time. That was an unthinkable amount of time. So I had planned to go to law school afterwards, which I did. And I was doing that full time and content creation full time. And I basically had this guy's sleep schedule. Like, I was expected to be either in classes or studying, like probably about 12 hours a day. And every remaining second, I was writing, editing, and putting out, to be clear, worse content than I ever had, just because of the amount of time that it took. I remember it got to a point where, over the course of a week, I had my entire week scheduled back to back to back to back to back, and I had to randomly find a 15-minute period, 2 days out of the 4, to take a shit. Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I was scheduling my shits that far in advance. Yeah, so my wife approached me and was like, hey, I feel unappreciated because we're not spending too much time together. And I was like, babe, I understand, but I have to do all this. Because at the time, despite the fact that this guy's situation is that he could walk away from content creation, for me, it was both of our only source of income.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I was like, this has to continue. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And it was at this time that I had to kind of sit down and be like, okay, this is the amount of money I can afford. And that's when we brought Rebecca on, and Dyer, who does stuff pretty frequently, and a couple of freelance people. And personally, I think Jillian has attested to the fact, she was like, yeah, you working with Rebecca definitely saved our marriage.
Oh my God.
Because but
I get it.
I don't want to be
I understand.
I was such a bad husband or whatever, but I really didn't have time. And, I know people want to be, understanding and stuff, but from my wife's perspective, you can't be married to someone you don't ever see or talk to.
Yeah.
And it's even more painful if that person is in your house doing shit that is not paying attention to you all the fucking time.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I just don't know what to say other than I think the guy has located a problem and a solution, and I understand that it seems like you don't have money for this, but I promise you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know she's probably looking up editor rates. And I'll tell you right now, if you look those up on Google, you are going to get rates for professional editing. While that is what I contract out the people who make my videos to do, it is not something the people who are just starting editing or working for small scale creators expect.
Yep.
And so I guarantee that you will be able to find someone at a lower price point. And I guarantee you cannot put a price on the time you will then be able to spend together. I know, it just irritates me to hear, I'm not trying to project here, to hear her say stuff like, I compromised by telling him, well, you can still do it, but now I'm unhappy. It's like, I feel like you already figured out what would make the pair of you happy and you nixed it.
Yeah.
I think the solution to this one is that, yeah, you should have let him hire an editor. And I think you will be surprised at the rate of return, at how markedly this will improve your quality of life.
Yeah. to talk about this from the perspective, out of the three of us, I am still the one that has a full-time job outside of this content creation stuff and the podcast and all that. Yeah, it sucks. But anyway, I cannot impart to you, listener, how if I didn't have this fun stuff that I was doing, regardless of the money that I make from it, obviously the money that we get from the Patreon of the podcast and the little bit that I get from Twitch helps. Sure, it's a bit of an incentive, but that's not why I do it. I do it because if I didn't do something like this, my brain would melt through my tear ducts, dude. It's just like, soulless work is called soulless work for a reason. It is soulless. Like, it is so passionless that having this stuff that I do on the side is fun. It's what I look forward to all the time. And clearly, it's what this guy looks forward to as well. Working in, I'm assuming, some sort of manufacturing plant, seeing as how it's referred to as like 12-hour shifts or whatever. It's like, yeah, he probably enjoys welding, but 12-hour shifts day after day after day, you know, God forbid this guy has something that he does outside of work that he enjoys. It is very important for a person in my situation, in this guy's situation, if he has found this stuff that he enjoys, to be able to do it. Now, the other thing is, yeah, editing takes a long time. If you tell him not to have an editor, he is going to still spend all of his time editing and you're never going to see him. Because it's very clear that he needs to do this stuff on the side for fun too. You know? I'm not going to be like, oh, women are always right. He should stop doing content creation. Like, as much of a misandrist as I am, right? He needs to... Clearly, I empathize with this guy a lot. Yeah, you got to have something that, you know, fills your soul. And having an editor is going to be the thing that frees up time. So, yeah, this is like really shitty to be like, well, you can still do it, but not in the way that makes it easier. So, ultimately, I just want you to stop doing it altogether, is what I kind of get from this, which feels really shitty to read.
Let me put it this way. I'm going to play a little devil's advocate just to explore this. While I agree with everything both of you have said so far, 100%, I want to think about the guy here spending a lot of time doing this. I think that there's a lot of nuance in terms of pricing for your family and for like what's going on. I think the reason why it was very hard for Joseph, for example, to think about like editors or whatever it was at first was like, can we do this? Right? Like, can we budget this? Can we figure it out? Or like, are we kind of stuck? And I know you want to do this and I want to let you do this. And that's great. It's just like, if you look at our finances, an extra, I don't know how many videos this guy makes. I don't know if they make money at all. I don't know how often or whatever, but clearly it takes up a lot of his time and he edits them and he does it for fun. And so where do you balance between that and saying, okay, well, let's hire an editor? Is that viable? Like, because I know for a fact that like for a bit, I couldn't hire an editor because I could not afford one, period. So I learned how to edit, right? And I learned how to edit. I made videos myself. I grew my channel and I actually started to see some amount of money. I did hire editors once in a while. I would just pay out of, I got a loss. And then as the channel grew, I started to see more success. And I was like, you know what? I can free up some of my time to start doing other things, stream longer, feel less stressed about the work I do, etc. And I hired, or at least, have freelance workers to help with editing. I've got a couple people who help me now for sure. And so like I was able to take that dive. But what if this is too tight, right? Like, what if the cash is actually that tight? I don't know their finances. This is the hard part, right? Like, maybe it is in budget and like I can't tell if it is in budget and like there is wiggle room. She just doesn't like want to like, and then I 100% agree with you guys. And it's like, I think she doesn't realize that this is not an issue. I think getting an editor would be good, but I don't know. I feel like we have to do a lot of like psychic reading on this post, but
yeah, here's how I would respond to that, because it seemed like we don't know their exact financial situation and we're not going to be able to, right? Like
right.
we don't know that. Here's what I will say. It sounds like they haven't even explored what an editor could cost them. Like it sounds like they haven't even got to the part.
Very good point.
where he hasn't even gotten to the part where he's reached out to some editors that maybe are newer, trying to get their feet wet, maybe are willing to take like
they know your situation.
Price. Yeah, maybe they know your situation. Maybe they're willing to be like, yeah, I just want to get some editing work in. I don't really care about the money either. This is what I'll charge, and be able to negotiate with an editor, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying, I hope people don't take this out of context, saying that you could find people that are more inexperienced to pay them less.
Of course not.
But that is a possibility. There are people out there that are more than willing to do that and happy to do that.
Right.
And it sounds like that investigation on how much it is actually going to cost hasn't even happened because she shot down the idea immediately.
Yeah. When you said that, it immediately clicked because you're right. She Googles, like Joseph said earlier, standard rates. And I was like, oh, already first mistake, right? Like,
yeah,
because
exactly.
Like it's instinct to do that. And like, I feel like all of us have looked just as a curiosity, see what things are, and they charge a lot, which it makes sense. There's a lot of professionals out there who absolutely charge a proper amount for the amount of work they do. But many content creators and many people would absolutely understand you've got to work with what you have, and sometimes that means it's maybe nothing. Maybe this guy makes $100 a month from content creation. Absolutely a normal amount for many people.
Yeah, or you know what? Maybe the guy is willing to not have like super professional editing put in his video, and a good editor is just like, you know what? This will be easier for me.
Right. I was like, oh, this is easy.
So much.
I'll charge you. I'll give you a bonus. I'll give you a discount. This is easy work for me. I like you. Because I know that I've had editors where I'm like, I'll pay you whatever, but just know like I make no money from this, and they're like, hey, no worries. I get it. You're starting out. I'll charge you a little less because I like you. You're my friend. Like, I want to help. And you're like, thank you. That's really appreciative, considering my situation. And now I'm very blessed. I'm like, oh no, I'll pay you whatever rate you need for the video. Like, what are your rates? Like, what are your hours, etc. Like, then you can start talking like that. But
yeah,
I agree. The conversation hasn't happened. And I feel like you're right. The shoot down is a big deal. I think that's something we can't overlook.
Because ultimately, Danny, you are correct. Where if, depending on what their financial situation is, if it's not feasible, it's not feasible.
Right.
Like you can't make more money appear like magic. Okay. Like that's just.
Exactly. And then we got to talk about, okay, dude, like Joseph said it earlier, like that the hiring the editor saved the marriage. So like if he continues to truck along, not acknowledging his wife who wants attention, rightly so, and deserves it, at least once in a while, it's like, bro, like something's got to give, man. Like, pull back, make less videos a little bit. Like, you don't have to go crazy style, but you're not living. You're just working 24/7.
Yeah, no, I agree. Even with all the spiel I said at the beginning,
of course,
that's still, you do have to be realistic at some point. Something does have to give.
Because like, I absolutely get hobbies. I absolutely get doing the things you need to do. But you also have to understand, like, sometimes you might be missing out on, like, literally everything. And so you have to be so careful with that because I get it. It works you to the bone. And you want to do it. Yeah. You're excited. It's cool. I totally understand. But taking those steps back and being like, you know what? Maybe I should chill on this.
Yeah.
Every situation's different. But, I was curious to explore the other side of this because I do think there is something to be said. But that being said, I do agree. There's a lot of moments. She's phrased this very poorly, in my opinion. I think it's like it sounds like you said, Jordan. It feels like the vibes on this is that she just doesn't want to. She doesn't like it, right? Like all these like moments. This is just reading into it, but
that's the thing. I am doing some creative reading here, but I kind of just am gathering that she wants him to stop doing it altogether. I don't know. I'm really inferring quite a bit. But maybe that's too far, but it's kind of what I'm getting from this. Who knows?
All right, you want to vote on this?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Decision time.
All right, is this woman the asshole, Jordan?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's at least let him pursue the opportunity. Let him network. Networking for editors is a big deal, and we spent like a whole bunch of time talking about it. But I'll reiterate: you can find people that aren't the professional rates, So it just sounds like she's unwilling to even start that conversation up just because of the fear of how much it's going to cost without actually getting quotes of how much videos are going to be. So yeah, I think she's the asshole.
Danny?
Yeah, I think she is an asshole here, only because I feel like the conversation on what he loves to do and both of them knowing that like it takes up a lot of time and so he can't spend it even though he really wants to do it. And your compromise is, I already let you do this. Like, it's her decision. It's very frustrating and upsetting to hear. And so the way this was approached feels very blocked off especially due to, she mentions in the edit, we were in a bad situation, like they just like financially. And so they're trying to save back after a period of difficulty. Like, I get it. All those things, absolutely understanding. But it sounds like those things are being like not weaponized, but like sort of like used as like, oh, no, we can't do that. Like, and shot down. And so I think that with a bit of compromise, with a bit of talking about it, more so knowing the logistics, getting into it and saying, okay, cool, let's actually sit down and plan this out, right? Like, I think that could be really good. And so I'll call her a slight asshole here.
Yeah, I think you hit on something nice there, Danny, about like, if it really is the case that the money's super fucking tight, I get this one. But without that information, I just don't like the way she talks about her partner.
Yes.
I wish she was a little more generous. I'll do this slight asshole as well.
The council has spoken.
All right, last one here. Y'all ready?
Let's fucking
Let's do it.
Let's knock it out. Comes from Am I the Asshole? It's a month old. Am I the asshole by not punishing my younger brother, 10M? Yes.
Yep.
Kill that child.
I hate children,
I hate kids.
apparently.
More for comments he made about my twin brother, 17M. Okay, here we go. I have a twin brother, Simon. We are both 17M. Simon and I are pretty different for the sake of simplicity. I like sports and girls. Simon likes theater and is gay. Okay, well.
Got you, Joseph. Bingo.
We are, however, best friends. It's probably important to note that if you passed Simon in the street, you'd probably guess that he was gay by how he dresses.
All right. Like, come on.
Maybe it's the way you're dressed.
Maybe.
Shut up.
We have a younger brother, Tommy, who is 10. 2 weeks ago, Tommy was going to his friend's house last week, and either Simon or I was going to have to pick him up. Tommy told me he didn't want Simon to pick him up because it's embarrassing. His friends would see his painted nails and said that I was cooler, so he asked me to come instead. I told him that's not a nice thing to say. Simon is the coolest person I know, which is true, and he shouldn't let his friends make mean comments about his brother. When our parents took Tommy to the party, Simon came to me and said he heard what Tommy said and asked if I would just go pick him up instead. I could tell he was upset and tried to talk to him, but he said he didn't want to talk. He just needed me to go pick Tommy up, which I said I would. I asked Simon if he wanted to go get lunch, but he said he wanted to hang out with his boyfriend and think about things. When I picked Tommy up, I told him Simon had heard what he said. I told him Simon was hurt and he had to apologize. I told our parents what happened too. Tommy did apologize and our parents spoke to him. Simon has pretty much ignored Tommy since that day. He's not outwardly mean, but it's obvious. If Tommy asks to hang out, Simon says he's busy. The one sport Simon likes is F1, and he and Tommy watch every race together, but for the last race, Simon watched it with his boyfriend instead, so I watched it with Tommy. On Friday, Tommy asked me if Simon is going to be mad at him forever. I told Simon this, and that I think he's punished Tommy enough. Simon accused me of not having his back, and told me he thinks I didn't really have his back in the beginning either, and I should have told Tommy he was being homophobic. Simon told me I was way too easy on Tommy. I say Tommy's 11, I guess. It says 10 earlier. Lie detected. Yeah. And Simon has to understand that he's self-conscious about his friend's comments. Simon said I was making excuses for Tommy and not having his back, and it became an argument, so now Simon's also ignoring me. Was I wrong for how I first dealt with the situation? Am I an asshole for demanding Simon move on and stop ignoring Tommy at this point?
Hold on. My radar is going off. It's saying missing parents? Where are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a little weird. They showed up. They showed up and said they needed to apologize.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
It seems like they've done nothing else, but
yeah. Hold on, my missing parents radar.
I don't know. I want to say I think that so I'm not doing this Simon thing because all through the thing it says Simon says, and I'm like I'm not fucking with this. I'm gonna call them the gay one and the straight one. So
that's so much worse.
I think
whatever, you're allowed, I guess.
I think the straight one did an all right job in this first one. Like, I understand that he could have been more heavy-handed and been like, listen, this thing is like a pattern of behavior called homophobia. You know, you got to accept Simon for who he is and stuff like that. But I think he did a pretty good job about being like, you can't be letting your friends talk like that, white baby.
Thank you.
Simon is really cool.
Yep.
He's the coolest person I know and my best friend. Like, I understand, but at the same time, I understand the gay one as well, because that is hurtful to hear, especially from a child. Kids don't really know how to lie yet really effectively. So sometimes when you hear something like this from a kid, you can be like, ugh, and he really meant it too. I see both positions, and
it's family too.
But I would personally have a hard time coming down on the straight one for not being supportive enough. and instead trying to communicate on what I would describe as the little kid's level.
Yeah.
And I understand that the gay one has a total right to feel disrespected by this interaction.
Yeah.
I think really the only thing that is going to resolve it, I think like Danny said, is I think the parents have to get involved. Everyone involved is under 18. Okay. So it's not like they're going to behave super rationally here.
Yeah.
And time. I think time also is the other thing.
Yeah.
Because, I think an important thing to note is, what Simon experienced here is just like homophobia from a family member,
Yeah.
And even though the kid is 10 or 11 or whatever, Post can't make up its mind, I don't know. But it's hard as you're growing up, especially when you have an identity or sexuality that is still bigoted against to this day, like very outwardly by some people, to have your own family member, your own kid brother growing up and being like, oh, people make fun of Simon. I don't want him to come pick me up. He's gay. It's like, oh, like my own family, that's still tough. I get where Simon's coming. That said, but when you hear the kid that's like, is Simon gonna be mad at me forever? Like, that's hard. He's
crushed.
dead.
Yeah.
He fucked up. He's trying to navigate and learn these social faux pas and what bigotry is and what bigotry looks like too, And I know I'm not coming from a place of understanding what bigotry towards gay people really looks or feels like. I'm not gay, so I'm not an authority to talk about that here. Of course not. Of course, Simon has the right to feel hurt, and I don't know. I find it hard to demand how he responds to this as well. But I think just outright not talking to your kid brother, I don't know, is that like, I don't think that's gonna fix anything. It's gonna make it worse. Like, it kind of breaks my heart to hear like, is my brother never gonna talk to me again?
Yep.
Like, that sucks.
Fuck you, kid. Die.
Sucks, man.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
We're disowning you.
Yeah.
I do real quick want to hop in. Danny, you mentioned the parents. I do want to say this person's added a little comment and says, for space reasons, I didn't go into more about what our parents have done, but they have had long talks with Tommy about what he said. They talked to him about homophobia, said it's important he's accepting. They've spoken to him about bullying, asked if stuff like this has happened before, and told him they expect him to stand up for people being bullied and not be one. So my parents went further than I did, as they should have. They also were very clear they expected me to have told them sooner so they could have dealt with it.
That's true.
And not only once I realized that Simon had heard. That is fair. I did mess up. I probably wouldn't have let Tommy go to the party if they knew. I think Simon is happy with how our parents have handled it. They've also told Tommy he has to wait until Simon wants to do something with him again because he hurt Simon. I know Simon is hurt. I don't mean to minimize it. My understanding is that my recent actions have done that. I think the only way for him to see that Tommy does care about him and doesn't think he's an embarrassment is to spend time with him. But it's been 2 weeks. It might be too soon to push for that.
Okay. With the knowledge that it's 2 weeks, I actually kind of take back a little bit of what I said, because as I was talking about, you did just experience bigotry from a family member. I think that is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks.
But get over it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. No, definitely not. I mean, I guess there's not really a time limit on it either, but that is still kind of fresh, Like,
yeah.
Hey, this is just a situation that I think sucks. And the question the guy's asking is, could he have gone farther in detailing to his 10-year-old kid brother that he needs to stop these patterns of thinking? And, that's a tough one.
That's really hard. Oh, man. I mean, I guess it's very easy to be like, yes, he should have, immediately had a sociology 101 session with his 10-year-old brother right there. But I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could go on this. It's hard to, you know what? 10-year-olds can learn this stuff. 10-year-olds can learn this stuff. Kids, I'm gonna remind myself of opinions that I feel very strongly about, which is kids are smarter than we give them credit for. And when the kid says, "Is my brother gonna be mad at me forever?" that also kind of rings to me that he knows what he did was wrong. So I think the poster could have done more and used that moment as a teaching moment to talk about like something like homophobia and why he shouldn't be embarrassed by his brother. So yeah, you know what? I actually do believe that the poster missed out on a good opportunity to stand up for his brother there.
All right, you want to vote on this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Decision time.
All right, Jordan, give me the deets.
I mean, I kind of did sort of speak about my vote right then and there, but I still agree with that. I still think kids are smarter than we give them credit for. The kid knows what he was doing was wrong. I'm happy that the parents were more present there, but also you are learning to be an advocate for a family member too. This is addressing the poster. This is all coming of age stuff, and if you have a family member that is experiencing bigotry, whether it's from kids or whatever, or whether your brother is starting to develop some opinions that you're noticing can be very harmful, I think you do have a responsibility to use that as a moment to teach your kid brother about right and wrong when it comes to this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think the poster is a little bit of an asshole here. A little bit.
Danny?
So I didn't really get to divulge, I guess, what I was thinking, but I'll say it here. No, you're fine. I was just like pondering the whole time, and I agree with you, both of you. But there's a specific part I'll hone in on to pretty much showcase my point on my decision. At the end of the post, the poster goes, "Am I an asshole for demanding Simon move on and stop ignoring Tommy at this point?" And for that, because I do agree with Joseph's early point where he says that I don't really blame him for not being the right advocate. I think he did a pretty good job by saying, hey, that's our brother. That's my twin. It's my best friend. And he's the coolest guy I know. That's great. Great moment. Yeah. I think he does a good job. And they do have kind of a good moment. But, Simon is hurt. And when they fight and he says, you should get over it, I get that feeling. I remember feeling like this when I was a kid. I remember seeing my siblings, my own family, my own friends throughout my life. And only now do I have so much patience that I'm able to be like, let me take a step back. I know you need space. I know you need time. And that's a hard concept when you're 17. You want everyone to be okay. You want everyone to be friends. You want everything to be back to normal. I get it. But the impatience here is clear about what, please, I don't want you to hate him anymore. It's hard to wrangle all those feelings, but very mild asshole here to being like, hey, stop ignoring your brother. That's not your job. It's not your job to handle that. That's your parents' job. It's not up to you to determine when Simon's ready to move on for, let bygones be bygones and make peace with his little brother. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. You're the asshole.
I think that's a really good way to put it, Danny. You don't get to decide when somebody is over something. I think that's really
right. And
really
there's limits, there's nuance, things can happen, sure. But I do think that's at the crux of this, especially knowing that it's only been 2 weeks. It's okay. Time will help. Yeah. Joseph said it early. Time, is a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to hone in on a superposition of asshole and not asshole, because you saying that made me realize this is two different questions.
Yes, because the title is different from him asking at
the very end where he says, am I an asshole for demanding Simon move on and stop ignoring Tommy? Yeah.
Yes.
You don't get to decide how he feels about this. I think you reacted correctly. I think maybe you could have gone farther, but that's largely the job of your parents, which they did do. Mm-hmm. And now it is on Simon to reveal when he feels better.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that may be a process that takes a long time. But the question in the title is, am I the asshole by not punishing my younger brother more for comments he made about my twin brother? And that, I think, is a no, because exactly. I think you did a good enough job in the original conversation.
Yep.
So
you get whiplash
just
a bit.
Be consistent, dog.
I actually see that's okay. All right.
I appreciate this because the post definitely feels like a 17-year-old wrote it.
Yeah, I stand by my position of no. I think actually he is an asshole by not. He's just punishing, but I think he could have gone a little bit deeper. I think as a 17-year-old, you can be a better advocate than what you were. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do the worst job. He did stand up for his brother, but I think he could have done a little bit more there. I genuinely think he could have. So, yeah, I still think he's an asshole there. So we are 3-2-1ing this one. The first ever.
What? I don't know. I give leeway because he's a kid, man. He's 17. I know he's older.
And
I think he handles it decently.
I think he handles it decently too. I just think he could have handled it better. That's all.
I guess so. I don't know. I just I do get it. I think he realizes this is a pretty if this kid's real, a pretty insightful guy when he responds and he's like, yeah, I did. My parents said I should have told them sooner. And that's actually the thing he could have done, quote unquote, better. If you don't know what's going on, if you're confused or whatever, just go to tell your parents. Be like, Mom, Dad, this happened. I don't know how to handle it. I think I said this, but blah, 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 you know, and then boom, they know and they can step right in. So I guess so. Whatever. Fuck you, Jordan. I hate you.
True.
The council has spoken.
All right. Well, I don't know where we've ended up on this one.
I don't know. There's
But
a
it
lot
is
to talk
over.
about. I think it's just I like this one a lot because
Yeah.
I like it.
I think
It's a
this
good
I think this
post.
17-year-old is going to listen to this podcast episode at
Yes,
one point.
they will.
And you know, as you grow into, you know, from adolescence to adulthood, you'll have my words ringing in your head that you could do better, you know. And it's not I'm not mad at you for it, but you could have done better. So use that as your motivation to stand up for what's right. Is me. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
What? No, I did not say anything weird there.
Whoa.
I think that was all
sorry.
No,
perfectly
you
fine.
didn't.
You're good. I was busy talking to the DOJ.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, you got a lot going on, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.